She has survived a factory fire, a roof collapse that killed one of her closest friends, a psychiatric ward, 2 kidney failures for husbands, and a kidnapping that ended in a car crash on live television. And yet, somehow, the most heartbreaking chapter of Carla Connor's story this year has nothing to do with a script at all. It's real, it's raw, and it's coming from the woman who has spent 2 decades bringing her to life. Today we're talking about Allison King, the actress behind one of Coronation Street's most iconic characters, and why, at 53 years old, the tragedy surrounding Carla Connor is being called one of the most heartbreaking stories in the show's history, both on screen and off it. If you've been anywhere near Coronation Street fan forums, TikTok, or Twitter over the last few weeks, you'll know exactly why this story has exploded. Allison King, the woman who has played Carla for nearly 20 years, sat down in front of a camera and, in an unusually candid and unscripted video, opened up about a year that she says nearly broke her. Grief, illness, injury, and a wave of online criticism all collided at once, and for a long time, she simply carried it in silence. Now that silence is broken, and Coronation Street fans everywhere are reeling, because the woman behind Weatherfield's toughest survivor turns out to have been fighting battles of her own that nobody on the outside could see. Before we get into what Allison actually revealed, let's rewind and remind ourselves exactly who Carla Connor is and why this character means so much to Coronation Street's audience. Carla first strutted onto the cobbles back in December 2006, introduced as the glamorous, sharp-tongued wife of Paul Connor. From the very beginning, she was never destined for a quiet life. Over the years, she's been through the ringer in ways that would flatten most fictional characters twice over. She inherited the underworld factory after Paul's death in a car crash. She fell for her brother-in-law Liam, only to lose him to a hit-and-run ordered by her own husband, Tony Gordon, a man who later tried to kill her by burning the factory down with her inside it. She survived that fire. She built the factory back up from nothing, only to watch its roof collapse in 2019, killing her friend and employee Rana Habib, a tragedy Carla blamed herself for so completely that it sent her spiraling into a mental health crisis and, eventually, a stay in a psychiatric hospital. She's battled kidney failure not once but twice, receiving transplants from 2 different family members. She's been married and divorced and remarried to Peter Barlow, married briefly to Nick Tilsley, and this year, in a groundbreaking storyline for the show, she found new love with Detective Sergeant Lisa Swain, becoming her wife in what fans nicknamed the Swarla wedding. Carla Connor, in other words, has never been given an easy ride. She is Coronation Street's queen of survival, the woman who claws her way back from disaster after disaster with her chin up and her guard higher than ever. That's exactly why Allison King's performance has earned her a Best Actress award at the British Soap Awards and a permanent place in the hearts of viewers who have followed Carla through every wedding, every funeral, and every breakdown for almost 2 decades. Which brings us to 2026, a year that was supposed to be one of Carla's biggest yet on screen, and which has turned out to be one of the hardest of Allison King's life behind the camera. On screen, the storylines have barely slowed down for a second. Late in 2025, Carla was kidnapped by Becky Swain, a plot that escalated into the show's ambitious crossover special with Emmerdale, nicknamed Corriedale, which aired in early January and ended with a devastating car crash that left fans on the edge of their seats over Carla's fate. Barely had she recovered from that ordeal when Carla was attacked again, this time at the factory, ambushed from behind by an unseen assailant after discovering Underworld had been ransacked, an assault that left her collapsed and fighting for her life while Lisa kept vigil at her bedside. In between all of this, Carla and Lisa's relationship reached new heights, culminating in an emotional proposal and the Swarla wedding that had fans flooding social media with celebratory messages, only for the drama to deepen further when Becky Swain, presumed dead, resurfaced very much alive, threatening to unravel the new family Carla had built. It's the kind of relentless, high-stakes storytelling Coronation Street has built its reputation on, and it's exactly the sort of material that has kept Carla Connor near the center of the show for years. But according to Alison King herself, filming all of it this year came at a cost that viewers never saw coming. In her TikTok video, Alison explained that her struggles actually began last August, when she lost her mother. It was, by her own account, a devastating loss that she was still grieving when 2026 began. As if that wasn't enough, she says her body hit a breaking point early in the year when she caught a severe chest infection, something she attributes to working closely alongside two young children on set. The timing could not have been worse. This was the exact period when Coronation Street was filming some of its biggest events of the year, including the Corrie crossover and the much-anticipated Swirlo wedding, both moments the show had been building toward for months, and both moments fans had been desperate to see Carla shine in. Instead, Alison was quietly working through grief, illness, and, as she later revealed, an on-set injury that further derailed her filming schedule, all while trying to hold together the performance that millions of viewers were watching every week. And here's the part of this story that stings the most. While all of this was happening behind the scenes, some fans online were doing the opposite of supporting her. Criticism began circulating on social media about Carla's reduced screen time during these landmark episodes, with some viewers complaining that she seemed to be lacking energy or enthusiasm during scenes that were supposed to be the emotional high points of the year. Fans didn't know what was really going on. They saw a beloved character seemingly stepping back from her own biggest moments, and instead of wondering why, some chose to criticize. That's the context that makes Alison's TikTok confession land so hard. She wasn't just correcting the record for the sake of it. She was quietly, and with real vulnerability, explaining that the woman behind Carla Connor's famously bulletproof exterior had been dealing with heartbreak of her own the entire time, and doing it largely in silence while the cameras kept rolling and the criticism kept coming. Predictably, the reaction from fans since that video went public has been enormous. Coronation Street's online community, the same one that had been split over Carla's screen presence just months earlier, pivoted almost overnight into a wave of support and sympathy. Comment sections filled up with viewers apologizing for jumping to conclusions, sharing their own experiences of grief and illness, and praising Alison for her honesty in an industry that so often expects its stars to perform through anything. Entertainment outlets picked up the story quickly too, framing it as a powerful reminder that even the toughest characters on our screens are played by real people carrying real burdens most of us never see. Several outlets highlighted the irony of it all, that a woman playing one of television's most resilient survivors was, in her own life, quietly proving just how resilient she really is. There's also been a noticeable shift in tone among longtime fans who have followed both Alison King and Carla Connor for nearly 20 years. Many pointed out that this isn't the first time Alison's real life has intersected painfully with her on-screen role. She's spoken in the past about personal setbacks while continuing to deliver some of Coronation Street's most memorable performances, and fans who've watched her navigate the industry for 2 decades say this latest revelation fits a pattern of quiet strength that rarely gets the credit it deserves. For a lot of viewers, learning the truth behind this year's storylines has completely changed how they'll watch those episodes if they go back and rewatch them, knowing now what Alison was carrying while filming some of the year's most demanding scenes. So, what does this mean going forward, both for Carla Connor's story and for Alison King herself? On the show side, Coronation Street's producers have given no indication that Carla's role is being scaled back long-term, and there's been no suggestion whatsoever that Alison is stepping away from the show. If anything, the ongoing drama with Becky Swain's shock return suggests Carla is about to be thrown into yet another emotionally grueling chapter, one that will test her relationship with Lisa and put her resilience to the test all over again. Fans are already speculating about where this goes next. Will Becky's reappearance threaten the marriage fans fought so hard to see happen? Will Carla, A woman who has spent years protecting the people she loves at any cost, find herself once again caught in the middle of someone else's chaos? Given the show's history with this character, it would be entirely in keeping with Carla's story for the drama to escalate rather than ease off. But there's a quieter, more human question hanging over all of this too, and it's one that fans have been asking loudly since Allison's video went viral. Will the show, and will audiences, give her the grace to take things at whatever pace she needs going forward? Soap schedules are notoriously brutal, with actors often filming several episodes a week, year-round, with little room for personal crises to breathe. Allison's honesty has opened up a wider conversation among fans and entertainment commentators about the pressure soap stars are under, and whether audiences are too quick to judge visible fatigue or reduced energy on screen without ever considering what might be happening off it. It's a conversation that extends well beyond Coronation Street, touching on how we talk about actors, grief, and burnout across the entire industry. There's also been speculation about whether this experience might shape Carla's storylines moving forward, with some fans suggesting the show could lean into quieter, more reflective material for the character in the coming months, giving both Carla and Allison a chance to breathe after such a relentless run of trauma both on screen and off. Others believe the opposite is more likely, pointing to Coronation Street's track record of doubling down on drama for its most established characters rather than slowing things down. Either way, one thing is clear. Audiences are watching Carla Connor's next chapter with a completely different level of empathy now, aware that behind every dramatic close-up is a woman who has been fighting her own very real battles. So, let's bring it all together. At 53 years old, Allison King has spent nearly 2 decades turning Carla Connor into one of British soap's most enduring and beloved characters, a woman defined by her ability to survive absolutely anything the writers throw at her. But this year, the tragedy wasn't confined to a script. It was grief over the loss of her mother. It was illness that struck at the worst possible moment. It was an on-set injury she pushed through quietly. And it was criticism from fans who had no idea what she was carrying, criticism that has since turned into an outpouring of support and respect now that the truth is out. It's a story that reminds us just how much real life can bleed into the characters we watch every week, and just how much strength it takes to keep showing up, on screen and off, even when everything behind the scenes is falling apart. Carla Connor's journey is far from over, and if the show's history is anything to go by, there are plenty more twists waiting around the corner on Coronation Street. But for now, fans everywhere are sending their support to Allison King, grateful that she felt able to share her truth, and hopeful that this incredible actress gets the rest, recognition, and compassion she so clearly deserves. That's everything we know so far about this heartbreaking story. What do you think is coming next for Carla and Lisa now that Becky is back in the picture? Do you think the show will ease up on Carla's storylines, or is more drama on the way? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and make sure you're subscribed for all the latest Coronation Street news, spoilers, and updates as this story continues to develop.